free to chat. I got recordings. Holy cow, what the heck? Mason? What are you doing, buddy? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Mason? Like, shake your head if you can hear me. Okay, apparently you can't hear me. That's my neighbor. I have no idea why he's on, but that's hilarious. Mason, can you hear me? By the way, Deb, I've told you that I would someday, if you ever gave up Tegan, that he would come to my house. Mason's the other one. So both him and Tegan would be my adopted children. Hi, Renee. Can you, okay, what are you guys doing? Renee and Mason, can you guys hear me? What are you doing? I can't. Okay, I'm unmuting you for a second. Sorry, guys. Life as a coach, like nothing's very well coordinated. Mason, can you talk?
Hello.
What are you doing? Okay, I have no clue what that was all about. So, I guess if my neighbor kid wants to join in, he must have seen my post on Facebook. That's hilarious. I'm pretty sure she doesn't want to be a coach, though. She's an Arbonne rep. But anyway, okay. So, sorry for all the confusion as we get started. And now everybody's so quiet. Deb or Aubrey, do you want to kind of, this is like so super casual tonight, by the way. So we're just going to kind of chit chat share a little bit about our personal stories, kind of how we ended up as coaches, and some of how it's benefited us. And you know, for each one of us, it's very, very different. So anybody?
I can start. First of all, I'm going to say welcome. For those of you guys, Aubrey and Lori and I were chit-chatting. Kristen, I don't know if you ever heard, Lori has been in our challenge groups for quite a few months now. So you know Lori from the challenge group. So welcome, Lori. Thank you for being here. We're just, like Kristen said, we're just going to chit-chat. We're going to tell you a little bit about how we got involved with Beachbody and what it has done for us. And I can say Aubrey and Kristen and I are all very different. You're going to hear that in our stories. And you saw my crazy kids and maybe hopefully didn't hear them, but in the background, and life has been crazy today. Aubrey and Kristen we're all busy. We all have crazy lives, but we managed to find time for coaching because we just believe in it and love it so much. So we're just going to share a little bit of that with you today. So I'll just start by sharing a little bit more about myself. Lori, you and other people, whoever may be on, may know a little bit more about me if you've been around with challenge groups. But I actually have always had a love of sports and fitness and nutrition. That is something that I had growing up. I went to college and got a degree in exercise science and health promotion, which you don't have to do this, by the way. But that's just what I always loved doing. And so right out of college, I got married, and I started out in my dream job as a certified athletic trainer working with sports injuries. And I really thought, do you remember hearing in school, like, people tend to change jobs or occupations like an average of, I think it was like 15 to 20 times in their career or something crazy. Maybe, is it that much, Aubrey? And I was one of those girls that was like, nope, I'm going to be an athletic trainer forever because this is my passion and this is what I love and this is what I want to do. Then kids came. And I had my first baby, and I experienced what it was like. Before the baby, it was fine. I was working lots of nights. I was working lots of weekends. And it didn't matter because the only person I had at home was my husband, and he could fend for himself. When we had our first baby, everything changed. It just changed everything. I no longer wanted to be working nights. I no longer wanted to be working weekends. And I wanted an out, but I didn't know how. I live in a very rural area. I'm about 60 miles from Sioux City and 5 miles from Omaha, Nebraska, kind of right in between. Job opportunities are not all over the place. And I just knew, there were days when I would go 3 to 4 days without seeing my baby because I might take him to daycare, then I might work a ball game really late at night, then I'd be up at 5 in the morning to hit early clinic, cover high schools all day long, be at a volleyball game the next night. And pretty soon 3 days went by and I saw my baby didn't see my baby at all. And I would cry on the way to work or on the way home from work. I was a bawling mess, you guys. It was miserable. So time went on and I decided I needed to find something else. I went to work at a bank. After traveling around to 8 high schools and hanging out with coaches and high school athletes, I was bored out of my mind. 2 years at the bank, 2 years at a county attorney's office, and I just decided I needed to get back into health and fitness. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what my options were. I just knew something needed to change. Well, my husband and I have been working out for several years from home because the nearest gym is 17 miles away. And when we first got married, we drove the half an hour there and we drove the half an hour back and we spent an hour lifting weights and messing around, but we didn't have kids and we didn't have as many responsibilities with work. And once we had kids and we moved on to the farm and the farm grew, we just didn't have the time to do that anymore. So we started doing workouts from home. Our first experience with Beachbody was P90X, which was an awesome workout program that got me in such great shape. I mean, I was blown away by how it transformed my body. So I knew the programs worked. I knew the Beachbody programs worked. A couple of years went by, and while I changed jobs, we had 2 more boys, so 3 boys total. And then at that time, thank God, my husband found out he had a wheat allergy. And so at the time, we moved from P90X to a couple other programs. Insanity was what we were currently doing at that time. We saw the Shakeology commercial, and I was like, okay, I don't do protein shakes. I never was going to do a protein shake in my life. I was going to be the last one to try a protein shake. And my husband was like, okay, I can't eat anything. There's gluten in everything or wheat in anything. What am I going to do? And he was getting kind of depressed. He saw the Shakeology commercial and was like, I'm trying that. And I was not going to stop him because I was like, you go right ahead, but I'm not drinking that. He got it. And a couple weeks later, he said to me, you really need to try this because we did the research. It's got great nutrition, great vitamins, minerals, pro and prebiotics. And after researching the heck out of it, I decided to try it. And almost 5.5 years later, I'm hooked. It gives me energy, makes me feel better, everything. So that is my story in a nutshell. I don't want to bore you, but what has Beachbody done for me and my family? I went into this hoping to coach full time, and I signed up as a coach in April, and in June, I quit my job. I quit my full-time job to stay home. I had a 1-year-old son at the time that was home. My other 2 were in school. And those first 2 were always going to daycare. Every day I dropped them off at daycare. Some days I didn't see them when I did the athletic training years back. And this one last boy, I just wanted to have that time with him because I just wanted to have more time with him. Also at this time, our farming operation was growing, and it was to the point where my husband was like, we either need to have a hired man to help us because the workload is getting to be too much for me, or we need to figure out a way for you to stay home so you can contribute to the farm. So it all just magically came together. I quit my job thinking I would do Beachbody full time. I still do it part time because I have 3 boys that need running everywhere. They're crazy. This is a really crazy week on the farm. I've been loading pigs and moving cows and all kinds of things like that. So it's been such a blessing in my life because I'm earning a part-time income, working part-time. And it's just about equal to what I was making working full-time in town. I was not in a really high-paying job. I was in a rural community. But to me, to be able to stay home with my son, he just went off to kindergarten, by the way. But I'm doing good, right? I'm doing good. I was able to stay home with my son for 5 years, you guys, and I can't even put a price on that. I've taken so much stress off Aaron, my husband, because he pretty much schedules things when he wants, and I am there at his beck and call, which is great because Beachbody allows me to do that. I work my business around my family and around our farm, and I work it when I can. One other blessing it has given me in the whole looking back is when I quit athletic training and went to the bank and then went to the county attorney's office, I desperately missed the athletic training. I didn't miss the nights and weekends, but I missed having a fulfilling career. I missed the student athletes. I missed the people I interacted with a lot. And I felt like a failure because I had worked so hard to get into the athletic training program, to complete the athletic training program. I was the best. I got the award for being the best clinician, when I was in the athletic training program, as far as being the best in the clinic with my athletes. And I just really felt like I was dying, and I was missing something. And when I started Beachbody, you guys, I was able to pick up my athletic training again. I only work one itty bitty high school, which I love. So I just work one little high school compared to 8 to 10 high schools I worked before. I work 2 Saturdays a year. Sometimes I work an occasional evening, but I get to keep my license. I get to keep dabbling in that. And then I get the best of both worlds. Oh my gosh, I meet so many great people from all over the country, you guys. People I would have never met. Aubrey, I've known you forever, but you and I would have never reconnected. Lori, Kristen, I never would have met you if it weren't for Beachbody. So I've met so many great friends through clients and through other coaches, and got to travel. My husband and I have been in New Orleans. We've been to Las Vegas and Nashville for Beachbody Summit. I also qualified for other trips to tropical places, but it was during planting season and I couldn't go. But I could, other people can go. And it is incredible. Kristen and Aubrey can share too how we get together at these big gatherings, and it is amazing. We know each other already through our challenge groups and through working together online in our Zoom calls and our team meetings. And it is just so incredible, the connection we have. And so Beachbody has given me time with my son, an opportunity to do more athletic training, helped with finances. I can pay bills. Check out my post tomorrow on my Deb Grass Fitness page. It's me and my son's jersey. It's kind of cute. Anyway, you guys, I hope you can see and feel the passion I have for this business and what it's done for me. And everybody's got a different story, so I'm going to stop there so somebody else can talk. But anyway, thank you for being here, and thank you for listening, guys.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, a couple of points, I guess, takeaways off of what Deb said. First of all, as far as meeting, literally, none of you guys on here tonight I would have known in my life or had in my life without, getting connected to coaching. I think it's funny that Deb mentioned one of the things that kind of led her into that transition into coaching from where she was at was crying in the car, going to this job she didn't like, and, knowing she was missing out on things in her life. And when you said that, it kind of, it reminded me of a time in my life. I guess I should just say, I don't know, Laura, you may or may not know this, but I have a landscaping company. I've done landscaping for 21 years, and I love it. It was a business that started from just my love of gardening and plants, and I like to joke that I started landscaping because I ran out of room in my own yard, so I had to go, work in other people's yards. But I remember one day I was having a struggle with my business and with employees, and if any of you guys have ever managed employees or worked with employees or have coworkers, sometimes things just don't click very well, and sometimes it can be really stressful. And I remember very, very vividly being in one of my clients' backyards. I know exactly what yard it was. I know what client it was. I know exactly where I was just standing in their yard. And, I had tears running down my face. Nobody knew that, but I was so frustrated with where I was and just feeling like I had no options. I never went to college. I graduated from high school, and I actually met my now ex-husband when I was 17. We started dating. As soon as I graduated from high school, he had a coffee shop locally, and so I went and worked with him and ran that business with him for almost 10 years. So I pretty much went from high school to married to business ownership, and I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. And that kind of gave me a start in that, which is great. But the landscaping business started for me completely on accident, just because I happened to like gardening and people heard about that and asked me if I'd come help them in their yard, and it worked. And I said, okay. And here I am 21 years later, and I was like, wow, did that just really happen? But, you know, the business is good right now, but I have had times where I've had struggles with it, and where I've had bad employees, and where I just want an out. I want a way out. And I was standing in this yard with tears running down my face and thinking to myself, what the heck else can I do? And knowing that landscaping is such a physical thing, and it's really, back then it wasn't nearly as bad as it is now, but it's really like broken my body. I have a bad back, I have bad wrists, bad knees, bad shoulder, like every joint in my body has problems. My massage therapist and my chiropractor have like job security with me. But I didn't know what the heck I was going to do. I knew that I couldn't physically do the manual labor of landscaping for the rest of my life. I also knew financially that it wasn't going to support me long term. Being an entrepreneur my whole life, I didn't have retirement savings or any of that. And so I just started thinking, like, what else can I do? And the only thing that came to my mind in that moment that I didn't need a college degree for, or like extensive training, was, hey, I could go become like a personal trainer or something. I liked sports. I liked health and fitness. I didn't know really much about it at all. Heck, actually, I knew nothing about it. I decided in that moment to enroll with our local community college. I went through personal training certification. It wasn't one of the big names. And then I went to my local gym and I asked about getting certified as a kickboxing instructor, because that was like the first gym class that I took, and I really liked it. It was actually the class that I met my husband in, my current husband. I say current like it's going to change. It's not changing. My now and forever husband. But that's, you know, I didn't know what else to do. And so I did that training, and I learned information, and I liked what I learned, but then I still had this landscaping business, and I'm like, okay, I'm not really sure when I'm going to fit in teaching classes at the gym or training people one-on-one, because I've got this other business that's paying the bills, or kind of paying the bills, and I can't leave that, and I can't really tell clients, oh, I'm sorry, I can do personal training for you like 3 months out of the year during my landscaping off season, but the other 9 months you're just on your own, so good luck. You know, that just didn't work for me. So I never picked it up. And I am horribly shy. I am a total introvert. I can do about anything from behind a computer, but in person, I am like awkward, and I feel like a fish out of water. And unless I really, you know, have something to say, or I know somebody pretty well, I'm pretty quiet. And anyway, so I knew because of that, I'm like, okay, you know, really getting up in front of a class at a gym and teaching is not me. I wish it was. I wish it could be kind of, maybe I don't know, but it's just not my thing. And to anybody that does that, I think it's awesome. More power to you. And Beachbody does have certification programs, so you can actually become certified to teach a lot of our fitness programs in gym type settings, which is cool. So there's options there. But anyway, so because of my landscaping business, because of the introversion kind of thing, I never pursued personal training. I never pursued kickboxing instruction. I just went back to my landscaping business and thought, I'm here forever. And like Deb, my journey with Beachbody started with P90X. My husband and I had been given a copy of the P90X program from somebody who bought it off the infomercial, which I had never even seen in my life. And one morning I decided to try it because it was Christmas. Our gym was closed. My husband and I met at the gym, and I wanted to work out, and that's all we had at home. So I popped in the DVD and kicked my ass. And it continued to kick my ass for the next couple of weeks until I finally talked Pat into doing it, and we started P90X together. About a month or two into doing the program, we came to find out about the coaching opportunity through my chiropractor, who knew some other coaches here in Lincoln and connected us, and sat down at a coffee shop with the guy and talked about it. And I found out about a little more about the business, about how it was really a company that was so focused on just inspiring and motivating people and helping people, and not like all about, hey, you got to hit quotas, you got to sell this many things in order to do this. It wasn't like that. And I love customer service. I love, with landscaping, I love transforming people's outside world into something that's going to put a smile on their face when they walk out the door. And I'm like, oh, a light bulb went off. I was like, wait a minute. I'm interested in health and fitness. I can't fit this other stuff into my schedule because I have this other company, but with being a Beachbody coach, I can do that anytime that works for me. I can sit on a computer at 8:30 at night with, a group of people like you guys and talk about it, or message clients, or get into our challenge groups and post stuff to hopefully motivate and lift people up. And that's a cool thing. It's cool to be able to just, have something that you can do on the side, or if it's going to be full time for you, on your own schedule. And that's where it fit in for my life. And, we can talk about some of the benefits. There's a lot of different benefits to coaching. And we can cover some of those here this evening as well. I'm going to give Aubrey just a minute to share, or not just a minute, she can have more than a minute, to share a little bit about her, kind of how she got connected into here. And then, between the three of us, we can, hi Tegan, talk a little bit more about kind of how it works, what we do, benefits, answer questions, any of that kind of thing. So can you hear me, Aubrey?
Yeah, thanks, guys. I was actually going to give you crap and be like, I get just a minute. Well, hey, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And if you're watching this sometime after tonight, thank you so much for watching this. My name is Aubrey Kuntz. I am from Nichols, Iowa, which is in eastern Iowa. I live here with my fiance, his son, and our crazy chocolate lab, Bailey. If you follow me on social media, you'll see her quite frequently. I have always been a pretty active person. I played 4 sports in high school, which is how I met Deb, because she was our trainer, and she did a lot of our agility not classes, but she did a lot of our agility camps in the summer and stuff. I still remember those. Anyway, and so I've just always been a really active person. Not as active as I wanted to be when I was in college, but when I graduated from college, I had more time. And so, it just gave me the opportunity to kind of pick up being an active person again. And so I've also always really been, well, not always, in the last couple of years with the evolution of Pinterest being what it is, I have really kind of fallen in love with the healthy hack recipes, like making chocolate hummus out of chickpeas, and haven't tried black bean brownies yet, but they're on my list. Just making kind of that comfort food and really yummy stuff be healthy. And so I just always kind of wanted this creative outlet, and I, always wanted to be one of those people who had one of those healthy blogs, took those beautiful food photos. But I never really had, I was just like, oh, I can't do that. Like, that's not for me. I don't have a real camera. Like, I could never do that. And so I've been pretty good on my exercise ever since I graduated from college. But probably about 6 or 7 months ago, I've been a coach for almost 6 months now. But I started in my first challenge group in March of this year. And before that, really something that was kind of missing in my life is I had been going to the gym and it was fine, but I didn't really know what to do when I got there. I was just kind of a runner, I guess. I got on the treadmill. I went through a lot of hip pain, which my chiropractor told me was because my strides were kind of off. And so I went through quite a few months of just hip pain, and I hate running. So, but I didn't know what else to do for exercise, and I didn't know what to do when I was lifting weights. But I didn't know what else to do besides go to the gym, because when I would do, workout DVDs at home, it would be with Jillian Michaels, and I was doing week 3 of Ripton 30 for like 30 days, and it was just not challenging me. It was just not fun. So when I joined the challenge group and got connected in Beachbody On Demand, it just opened a whole new world to me. And not just, I fell in love with the workout programs right away, but I think that the thing that I really loved was all of these people in this group just encouraging each other to be healthier each and every day. It was something that was unlike anything I had ever experienced before. And I didn't really know anybody in the challenge group. So I was like, wait, these strangers are encouraging me? What is this? This is amazing. It was like the best feeling. And then it was like, I wanted to encourage other people, and it was just the best experience. And, so after I did my first challenge group, I was like, okay, I really want to pay it forward. I've always really wanted to I've really always wanted to have this outlet to kind of like help people. When I was younger, I thought I was going to be a nurse when I grew up. But I can't deal with blood or anything like that. So that was out the window really early on in my life, but I still really enjoy helping people out, and I like being a resource for people. And like I said, I wanted to start like kind of this blog and stuff at some point. And so, I just wanted to share these recipes and these healthy hacks and, different workout moves with people. And so I was very skeptical, though, before I started as a coach. I was involved with another network marketing company. I was selling jewelry, and so I was like, oh my gosh, like I just quit selling jewelry. Like, do I really want to, jump on this sales bandwagon again? And that's something that really, truly Beachbody is not. It's not about just selling. Like, you sell someone a piece of jewelry, you sell someone some makeup. Okay, it makes them feel good. It might make them feel pretty when they're wearing it, but like, we can change lives with what we're doing, and we don't even feel like we're selling in the process, because that's not the whole point anyways. We just want to help people change their lives because it's changed our lives so much. I don't have a huge like weight loss story or anything like that. A lot of people do. A lot of people don't. I don't, but it has changed me so much on the inside. I feel like I not only work out my body every morning in my living room, but now I am like working out my insides, which is such a weird I need to find a better way to say that. Someone said that and I just kind of picked up on it, but I don't really like it. I work on myself more than just my outer appearance, because that's not really what's important anyways. Inside and outside beauty. Love it. But really, yeah, this has given me such an opportunity to meet people who I would have never met before in my life. I have reconnected with people. Deb is one on this call in particular, but so many other people who I've reconnected with. And, you know, people just share their stories, and I'm able to share my story. And I've been places that I've never been before. I traveled alone this summer to go to Beachbody Summit, and that was a huge accomplishment for me. It, you know, it's not to some people, but it really is for me. And I work a full-time job, so I kind of fit this into the cracks of my day. Some days are better than others. Some days I, you know, jump out of bed right away in the morning and I have time in the morning to work on it. And sometimes I hit the snooze a few too many times and I work my business at night. But that's the beauty of this, is that you can really make it whatever you want. And when I started, I thought that I just wanted the discount on Shakeology because there was no way in heck I was giving that stuff up. I had my first shake and I was like, this, excuse my language, this shit is amazing. Whereas it's been all my life. The protein shakes that I had been drinking had nothing on Shakeology, which way better than just a protein shake, because it's not just protein shake. This has just brought so much happiness and joy in my life that, you know, I mean, I was happy before, but like this was something that I would have never expected coming into my life. And yeah, it's been really great so far. And I'm only like a half a year in.
And you know, Aubrey, you were just talking about it changing you on the inside and the outside both. Like, I have that background in fitness and nutrition, and I don't have a huge weight loss story either. I lost 20 pounds. Well, don't tell, but it was probably actually 17, but sometimes I round it up because 20 sounds more dramatic. I lost about 20 pounds with Beachbody, and the thing it's done for me also is one of the things we do as coaches is we're a product of the product. So as a coach, I am showing up every day to my challenge groups to show them I'm drinking my Shakeology, I'm taking care of myself, and I'm exercising. And I can tell you, if I was not a coach, I would, if I was not a coach, I would like to think I would still stay in shape, but I can tell you I probably wouldn't be as in good of shape as I am now. I turned 40 this year, and I'm in better shape now than I was when I was 20, you guys, which is crazy and awesome and sad at all the same time. So, you know, as coaches, we're a product of the product. It helps us stay accountable. We do personal development every day. So we read books that help improve us and improve ourselves. And we invite people to join us, whether we invite them to join our challenge or we invite them to join our team so they can experience what we have experienced. And somebody said this once. Do you guys remember hearing that this is like a gift? Kristen, Aubrey, it's like a gift that you should share. And whether people accept the gift or not is up to them, but we just have to share it. Because it's made such an impact on my life, and I know Kristen and Aubrey's also. So
I wrote that down on paper, and it's down in my office. I said, we have a gift.
Sorry. I was like trying to get back on. Yeah, very true. And, you know, in my world, I don't know, coaching has done a lot of things that I had no expectations. I didn't have any expectations to begin with. You know, when Pat and I started, we just wanted the product discount. I wasn't into the business end of things. I didn't really care. We did, you know, work to get, he's a coach technically too, although he doesn't really work, he doesn't do anything. But that's common with spouses. I think a lot of people have like their spouse that's technically part of their team. There's benefits to doing that. But they may or may not work in that. It still is okay. But, you know, when we first became coaches, Honestly, I didn't think I'd be sitting here right now today. We've been coaches for 8.5 years. It was February of 2009 that Pat and I signed up. And initially, as I said, it was product discount. We were buying supplements. I mean, we had our gym membership. Well, actually, by the time we signed up as coaches, I think we had canceled our gym membership because we were committed to P90X at that time. But we were buying a ton of supplements at like a supplement store locally, and protein powder and I don't know, random stuff that like they do crazy marketing to make you think that it's like gonna just change your body in like a heartbeat. And I had been really sick. I had some digestive health issues. I had an infection called C. difficile and wound up with colitis as a result. And so my gut was destroyed. About a month after Pat and I became coaches, they came out with Shakeology, which, I was already familiar with the supplement thing. Didn't really know much about all the different ingredients that are in that. All I knew is that they said it was going to have good stuff for your gut, good stuff for digestive health, probiotics, prebiotics, digestive enzymes, things like that. And I was on a handful of colitis medication every day that my doctor told me I had to be on indefinitely, because my father had ulcerative colitis. And my doctor didn't want me to go down that path. So it's like, take all this. And I hated it, but I had no choice because I was super sick. So anyway, we started using Shakeology, and literally, I kind of went against doctor's orders. I don't advise doing that. That's my disclaimer. Don't stop taking medications without doctor's permissions. But by that time, I had been on the colitis meds for a couple of years. Kind of things were leveled off, but they were still telling me, hey, you've got to do this forever. And I didn't like that. I didn't like popping pills every day. So on my own doing, I chose to try this Shakeology stuff, see how my body reacted to it. And I actually reacted really good. And to the point where within a couple of months, I think 2 to 3 months max, after starting to use Shakeology every single day, I weaned myself off my colitis meds, and I haven't been back on them since. And that's been 8.5 years ago, almost. So I'm a huge believer in Shakeology. I don't recommend it because, I just want to sell you something. No, it changed my physical health. And for me, that's a big deal. And I know it helps people in so many other ways. And so I always just say, try it for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, whatever. See how you feel. If you don't like it, fine. Try something else. But that was my story with it. So yeah, initially as coaches, product discount was great because we were already buying stuff at the local store for supplements. And I'm like, heck, I'm already spending this money anyway on supplements. Why don't I just buy them from myself and buy better things that I know what's in them? I know the ingredients. I know the process that was put into creating these products. Because the only reason I know that is because not that I'm smart. It's because Beachbody tells you all of that stuff. As a coach, you get all of this back inside information on how they develop and produce these things. And it's really incredible. The amount of research and I don't know, stuff that they put into the products that we have is really incredible. And that's impressive to me. And I'd much rather put that kind of thing into my body than some random thing I find on a store shelf somewhere that's loaded with a ton of fillers and I don't know how it's made or where it was sourced or any of that stuff. So anyway, product discount was great. And then over the course of that first year, Pat and I started to meet other coaches, on presentations like this, local events. We have Super Saturdays is something that Beachbody does on a quarterly basis where it's just kind of a big local event where coaches and people who are thinking about coaching can get together in person and talk and learn more about it. And they're great events. So we started meeting people and meeting other coaches and just kind of fell in love with the company and the mission behind everything and what it stood for. And for me personally, the financial thing, which, disclaimer, as a coach, Beachbody does not guarantee any specific amount of income. It's, your income, your success as a coach on the financial end is completely dependent upon the number of people you help and serve and your personal effort, and what you give to it. There's people that are just in the coaching for the discount, and that's totally fine. But there's also people who want to build a business, and that's totally fine as well. For me, I decided after the first 9 months or so of being a coach that I wanted to build a business. Being an entrepreneur my whole life, as I mentioned earlier, I don't have any savings. I don't have any retirement. I knew I was going to be digging holes in people's backyards until I was 95 years old, completely physically broken and miserable. And to me, this was kind of like a door that opened, that gave me that, like, hey, you like health and fitness already. You can do this. And it gave me another opportunity in my life that I did not have before. And I still, in this moment, I still don't know what the heck else I would do. So coaching came into my life, and I think that, I believe in things happening for a reason and things presenting themselves in your life for a reason. And for me, that was a sign. So I jumped on board with the business end of things, and it's been a blessing. Coaching has enabled Pat and I to earn a second income on top of doing our other businesses. I'm still running my landscaping business. He has a full-time job, and that's fine. I would like to, and I expect someday coaching will be my full-time career. But it is what it is right now, and it's still providing us with a significant income that, I compare to like some of my employees in my landscaping business. What I pay them in a year, I earn as a coach. And I'm doing that on the side. And I'm like, oh my God, that's cool. That's crazy. So, depending on the career choice, it is a full-time income on the side for me. And that's awesome. And, it's allowed us to travel. I mean, there's tons of benefits. You guys want to share any more about other benefits, or do we want to talk about, do we want to do Q&A? What else do we want to talk about tonight?
I just want to share that one of the things I love about coaching is, well, there's a lot of things I love about coaching, but I was looking for an opportunity where I could fit everything in, the kids, the farm, manage my own schedule, and Kristen and Aubrey both work full-time jobs, so, and a lot of our other coaches do too. So this is something you can literally fill the cracks of your day with, which was great. But another important aspect for me was I live in a rural community. The closest town, well, I'm not going to count the closest town because I don't even know if there's 100 people in that one. But the next closest town has like 400 people, Aubrey? I don't even know. 400 people maybe? 500. Ooh, 500 now. 500 people in it. So, yeah, sure. I'm sorry. I got kids here again. Anyway, my thought, 500 people in it. And so there aren't a lot of job opportunities, and it's not like I can go, not that I would like to anyway, but I can't go knocking door to door on thousands of people's, doors, sharing this with them. But social media has been so great in sharing this business, and it really makes it incredible because I can share with people all over the country. We started a new challenge group last week. I have a lady from Louisiana who just messaged me because she saw me on Facebook. You can use Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, whatever you're comfortable with. And Beachbody is also, we have coaches in Canada. We opened up to the Canadian market, and we're opening in the UK in October, I think. So there's just so many possibilities in rural, small town Iowa to grow this business, which is what I love. So.
Yeah, I'm that as well. Definitely all over none of you guys live in Lincoln, Nebraska. And yet here we are sitting here talking on this random video conference thing. And, what Deb said about, some of the members of our challenge groups, our virtual fitness gyms, or whatever the heck you want to call them, we're all over the place. You don't have to be in person, which is, a really weird and cool thing. Social media has done strange things. I remember when I was when coaching was brand new, so 8.5 years ago, I I just got onto Facebook, like within the first year of being a coach. And I remember posting something about it online. And initially, like, I kind of got my hand slapped. Like, oh, no, we don't talk about Beachbody on Facebook. And it's because Carl Deichler, our CEO, you know, at that time, Facebook was kind of like a party zone. It was like, it wasn't a way to connect with people. It wasn't what it is now. And now Beachbody gives like so much training on how to connect with people all through social media. The amount of information and training and help that we get is wonderful. And for me, being an introvert and not being good at like the whole one-on-one, face-to-face communication when it's somebody I don't really know, scares the heck out of me. Social media has been a blessing because I can connect with so many people, and it allows you to just broaden your market, you know, like Deb and Aubrey being in small towns. You know, you can connect with anybody from anywhere on social media. It's the strangest thing, but it's a really, really cool thing. And I don't know. Were you going to say something else, Audrey or Aubrey?
Yeah, I was kind of a little unrelated, but like also something that I realized when we went to Summit. You know, we know our coaches like on this team pretty well, but being at Summit really made me realize that there are coaches that are like probably in their 70s. There are coaches that are younger than me. You know, like they said, coaches from Canada, there are going to be coaches from the UK. There is not, like, you can be anyone to be a coach, really. You do not have to be at your goal weight. You do not have to, you know, have been, like I said, you don't have to have a huge, you know, weight loss transformation story or anything. And the thing about it is that nobody's perfect. I was just talking to one of my friends about this tonight. Nobody is perfect. And so, yeah, we're Beachbody coaches, but we drink our wine, we eat our pizza. And, you know, I've learned so much more about nutrition from becoming a coach, but I'm not perfect. And you know what? That's okay, because nobody is. And so the fact that we're, you know, we're real people just like everyone else. And so we're going to have our good days and we're going to have our bad days. But you do not have to, you know, have it all together or have, you know, a huge background in nutrition or health and fitness or anything to be a coach. It is really, truly, you do not have to have any background in it at all. And you don't have to be at, you know, your goal weight or anything. You can, you know, you can start, because even if you're not at your goal weight, you're still, I mean, we're always on our journey. Our health and fitness journey is never complete. We're always going. And so, and everyone else is on their journey too. So we walk through it together.
That's a great point. And I'll be honest, I'll be completely raw and vulnerable and honest with you guys. I've actually gained weight being a coach. It's not being a coach that made me gain weight, but I've had some just, well, I'll just be blunt. I went through menopause over the last 2 years. I'm 44 years old. I'm a little young for it, but my hormones did a major on me over the last couple of years, and I have actually gained weight over the last couple of years because of hormonal changes, and that's been a struggle for me. But what's really, really cool about it is that I have this community that no matter what shape I'm in any one moment, I've got that to plug into. I've got that to lift me up. I've got that to motivate me. I've got that to help me, you know, stay on track as much as I can be. And there's no judgment. This is probably the least judgmental group of people, and I'm not just meaning on that we're on tonight on this video conference, but the Beachbody coach community as a whole is the least judgmental people I've ever known in my life. They're the most supportive, positive, uplifting group of people I've ever known. And you run into that with every team, and at Summit, like Aubrey said, and meeting people that you've never met before. You've only like seen them on Facebook or Instagram or wherever wherever it is. It's just this weird thing where we get to know each other online, and then you meet each other in person at these events on occasion, and it's like your old friends. You've known each other, and there's just something really cool about that, I think, and comforting, and just knowing that, hey, you can have a really bad day and you can eat 5 pizzas and drink 2 Mountain Dews or whatever the heck your vice is, and then you can plug into this challenge group and somebody's going to lift you up, and you can go and do a workout and you can move on. You know, it's not the end of the world. Nobody's going to put you down for that or whatever. It's just life. Anyway, anything else? We're coming up on an hour, so Lori, do you have any questions or anything, or?
No, I mean, it's been very helpful to hear what you guys are saying, but no questions yet. I'm a thinker, so I've got to process, 2 days from now I'll be like, oh, what about? So Deb will probably get some text messages or something like that here over the weekend or something like that.
Awesome.
That would be great. Yeah.
Well, if anybody else has anything, otherwise we can just wrap things up then. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys for being online with us tonight and listening to our not always super organized and random chat about coaching, and for putting up with, I will say what you saw tonight is just life as coaches. Your kids pop in, randomly your neighbor shows up on a Zoom meeting. So this is like the way that things are, though, and it is what it is. And we're not going to come here with like suit and ties and be like, hey, this is the way coaching is and blah, blah, blah. No, it's just life. And we're just here to support each other and try and help other people along the way. So thank you so much for joining in with us. And we will just see you guys all later. Have a good
Thank you. Good night.